All right, so right off the bat, we're
United
gonna do
is.
technical things, and we're trying to make this right and share it everywhere. So if we look like we're distracted, that's because we are. We're trying trying to get this shared all over the place. But
Yeah.
hey, we appreciate everybody watching us.
Yes.
This is pretty exciting to us that we're making a lot of changes, and in making these changes, we feel really good about it. We're going to move away from the Convene Communities Facebook page. We're going to move over to our professional dads page. And, in doing that, we figured out just, oh, how does that? Y'all hearing that?
I
Oh,
heard it for a second.
that's what I'm saying. I'm muting myself. Josh, you talk for a second.
You'll be talk. All right. Yeah, we're moving ourselves over from Convene to our own professional dads page, and then we can circle it back. As you know, Matt's the creator of Convene and how much
That's what I'm saying. I'm muting
the
myself. Josh, you
resources
talk for a
that
second.
we have inside of
All right, yeah,
Convene.
we're moving ourselves over
There. No,
My
you're
bad,
good.
my bad, my
The
bad.
resources we have inside of Convene to learn and to build community and what we're going to do. We've got a ton of great feedback each and every week we do this, and we're just so excited, obviously, to share with you guys our thoughts and our failures and blunders, and sometimes we had success to help you guys not only be better dads, be better sons, be better brothers, but better women and aunts and all the things. So yeah, we're excited about it. So
Yeah. All right, I'm back. I think I got it shared. So we should be going
that's
live.
stalled enough for you.
Yeah,
That's
he's
stalled enough.
called enough. But look, so if you look at when we came up with this, and again, a lot of credit to you, Devo, because it was really your idea that you came up and you wanted to do it and came to the office, and we were able to get together and talk and share a little bit. But look, we're bringing together these four men primarily. We're going to bring other people on and everything like that. But if you look at us four, as the professional dads core group here, you know, Proverbs 27:17 is, iron sharpens iron. And I think that's, when we came up with that, I think we came up with it as a collective. I think it's really true. I go back to my time in the Marine Corps, and that we were hit with iron sharpens iron, iron sharpens iron all the time, right? If I can make you better, you can make me better, and collectively we're all together better. I don't know if they did that in the Navy, Devo, but I mean that's what we're talking about in the Marine
I
Corps.
knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
That's right.
Well, it didn't take long.
Here we go.
Eric,
Here we go.
But
Training wheels
that's
off,
right.
baby.
But there's, we're coming together collectively. We joke about it a lot. I had to move the screens around and everything, but you got two white guys, two black guys. You got four guys that really love each other, and we formed this tight friendship over this time, and we are really learning from each other. Eric, you talk about being the caboose of the crew with the younger kids, but man, I'm learning from you just as much as you're learning from us and all that. So I think we just talk about it a little bit, and when we talk about iron sharpens iron, what does that mean to you? So somebody take it away.
Well, I'll go because I think a little bit of that, when you have two, hard metals there. So there's friction that it gets hot. You got a lot of sparks, but it also sharpens each other. I think there's no breaking that. And I think the biggest thing with this group is no matter the topic, we've been able to do it together, learn from each other. About parenting, about being a dad, about being a business owner. Obviously, Eric and I in that same realm of insurance. Eric and Devo in the education world, and Matt's doing the same thing in the military. So I think it's just a different perspective that we all have from the backgrounds that we grew up from, those experiences. And Matt, you say it all the time with Convene is, real people, real life, real experiences. And we're just sharing our experiences, and the amount of, you said it too, Matt, like the stuff I learned from Eric, I'm like, man, I should have done that, but I'm going to do this, even though the kids are all over the place, which I think is a great help. When I think going into it, maybe I was a little, reluctant, like, man, like, the kids ranges, like, how can you can't go back and fix some of those things. but even some of the things that you guys do with your kids have helped me with, with my kids, especially my son, with being a man, being a dad and being a, boy dad, for my son is, hey, I can do this and talk a little differently. So I just think the perspectives from each of you guys and the conversations that we've had, and then the comments from people that are watching every single week, it draws us afterwards, after the show's over, to kind of talk through it. And we're like, man, we could have said this, or man, I didn't think about that. That's the way I look at it. It's just like those light bulb moments over and over and over. And then we have them obviously through the week via text too. So that's what it means. That's what it means to me.
Yeah. Who's up next? Devo?
Yeah. So I think with me, it comes down to feedback. I think about anytime you go in to develop a relationship or to grow a relationship, you have to get a different perspective from someone else. I often call it that rear view mirror perspective. Like a lot of times we can't see ourselves. So we have to depend on other people to kind of foreshadow that, or to essentially just tell us,
Yep.
how it comes across. Because a lot of people don't have that gift to be able to feel or understand or internalize how they come across. So the more information that we can get from other people, I think the stronger that makes us. Therefore, the iron sharpens the iron. And then I think when it comes to men, like, we just have to have those transparent conversations with us, where it's not really looking to gain anything. It's just being, what's the word, like altruistic, where they just want for the other person to grow,
Yeah.
and for it to be true, and for it to be real and authentic. So sharing those types of values, sharing those types of comments, sharing those types of insights, I think is a gift. Like one of my favorite sayings is, feedback is a gift. And so anytime anybody gives you that feedback, like, receive it. Like, don't automatically write it off, like, reflect on it. Reflect on it. Tear it apart, see if there's any truth to it, and if it is, then react accordingly. And then if not, just flush it, and then you can move on. But anytime anybody kind of gives you an insight to who you are, or to how you think, or to how you move mainly, I think is a blessing and should be received as such.
Well, I think what gets me a little bit is for what you're saying is also another word is accountability. We hold each other accountable, I think, and men need to hold each other accountable as men,
Yeah.
as fathers, as husbands, and I think that's what this group's able to do, and I think that's good. Eric, what about you?
Yeah, you you did a great segue, because I would say just as men need to hold each other accountable, that we have to be able to take that same feedback from our spouses, significant others, because I hate to admit this to you guys, but as long as I feel like I've known the word PK's kid or whatnot, the first time that I heard that phrase in the Bible, that verse in the Bible, was when I got married, because I know I had set Erin off on something that I did and said, and she said the quote, and she said from the Proverbs, and she just said, "All right, iron sharpens iron," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
That's a man thing. You ain't supposed to say that.
I know, right? And so when I read it and then I thought about it, I was like, "Oh, okay." So she just respectfully put me in my place. And so when you think about that clank of the iron hitting iron, which side is hot, which side is not, it really doesn't matter, because when they begin to clank in the sparks, they refine each other. And one thing that I know about when you see knives sharpening whatnot, if you touch the blades, they're hot at the touch, but they're a little more pristine and a little more shiny for both. So which blade sharpened the other doesn't matter. Both blades are sharpened. Both blades are hot to the touch. Both blades are, they're not jagged. They're smooth and they're polished. And so when I think about it, I think about how much better as a husband first and a father second I have become since being married, and what responsibility I have. Many of my prayers when I'm praying for the boys on the way to school, I end it with, "Father, thank you for the responsibility to steward these kids, because we know we don't own them. We just are appointed to them for a certain period of time." And I think I've learned and grown in that whole posture of iron sharpen iron for just the partner that I have. And I'm glad she checked me earlier in our marriage. She called me out. Technical difficulties. But anyway, that's what I think.
Yeah, I heard the comment today or earlier this week, and I never had thought about it. Like I'm like, well, why have I not been asking Tisha this, or my kids this, or my friends this? Yeah, we can a little bit, but why have I not been asking Tisha this? And it's and you may have mentioned it, I don't know, but it's how can I serve you better? Like why haven't I not been asking my wife that every day? How can I serve you better? Or my kids, how can I serve you better? Or my friends, how can I serve you better? Such a simple question, but a powerful question. And it's that feedback that we're looking for, I think, from our spouses and really our kids or our friends, of what can we do to be better for you, and at the same time, it goes both ways, right? Um, but yeah, what do y'all think about that? Because I've never looked at Tisha and said, how can I serve you better? And I think that's something I need to.
Let me can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me throw this real quickly back to the whole sharp iron versus dull iron, because one thing, and Devo said it with accountability, Matt, you followed up with that, is if I want to get cut, I want to get cut one time and feel it. I don't want to jag it where it leaves a mark. And I think when we need to be put in our place, sometimes we just need to be cut. And we need to be cut clean, as we used to say, get cut to the quick,
That's right.
and so I think that's where true accountability comes through brotherhood, manhood. When you know that your ego needs to be put in check, you're not doing right. Devo, Chris, Wayne, three of my say closest in the circle of college friends used to tell me, "Hey, E, you gotta get your ish together." They saw me wilding out. So you got to get your ish together, man. You know that ain't like Harold and Cookie's son. And so I appreciated that there's moments where they knew me, loved me enough to say, hey, that's a bridge you don't want to jump off, But if they didn't sharpen those irons, or I was willing to take that feedback or care enough to be vulnerable in those spaces, I wouldn't be sitting on this panel with you guys tonight, because they would have just been like, hey, you do you. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
So,
Good luck. You do you.
Another segue to that. Go ahead, Josh. Were you about to say something?
No, I was gonna say you guys know I love ChatGPT. Like I literally just put in while you were sitting there, and this is crazy because this shows me that we're all on the same page. So I just put in, what does iron sharpen iron mean? First off, it has Proverbs 27:17. But this first paragraph, the idea is that just like one piece of iron can be used to sharpen another, like a blade against a whetstone, people can help each other grow, improve, and become better through challenge, accountability, and encouragement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's basically what we say. And it's got the mutual growth, constructive criticism, and strengthening character. Like, that's just what we just said before I did that. Because I like ChatGPT, but I waited until everybody had it down.
And if you go back to this whole thing that we're trying to do, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
With each other and with men. Go ahead, Devo.
Well, I was just going to reply, Matt, you said earlier, how come you never ask your spouse that question? And I know, I kind of got a little gut check, a little rumbling in my belly, like I need to go sip on some Pepto-Bismol because I'm just scared. You know what I'm saying?
We're scared.
Because the simple fact is, they might just tell your ass like exactly what they need, right? And so if they tell you,
never ask. And then flop out a CBS.
Break out a whole scroll.
Like, hear ye, mother sucker. Here's what I need from you.
Like, I've been dying for you to ask me this question, bro. Like,
right.
Sit down. Sit down right here beside me. Right. And
one.
So, kind of go through. And honestly, like, I always, like, when we bring up these philosophical questions, I like to ask myself, okay, so D, where you staying? Like, how you leaning, right? And so like when I ask myself that, it's because I am scared, and it's only till like recently I'm ashamed to say that, like, I've asked, like, hey, what do you need? Like, how can I do better? Like, what do I need to stop doing? Like, what do I need to do more of? And and it just comes from a very selfish nature, right? I even ask the same thing to my kids, like, hey,
Yeah.
what do you need? Like, what can I do? Like, how can I support you more in this endeavor?
Yeah.
Instead of goes back to your thing, E. Like, our kids are a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a rental. Like, let's just call it what it is, right?
Right.
It's a rental.
Right.
Like, you
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
X amount, you got, finite time to just delve in and to make that impression towards the individual you want them to become and carry your
True.
last name, right?
True.
And so, like, it's not endless, it's not the buffet. You know what I'm saying? You got
Right.
you got a 3-course meal, right? And
Yeah.
so you better get it in when you can. But yeah, to those 2 points, man, I just kind of stuck with me, man. Like, our kids are a rental. We got to make sure that we build them, and we got to give them what they need. And then our wives, like, we so forsake them, man. Like, I'm even more ashamed to say this, but this is like,
y'all ain't gonna get none of this other than from these 4 right here. Because a lot of men just like keep this inside. We're gonna give it to you. It's like, Devo about to go.
Hey, when we first met, Josh, my first expression I think I use is we about to dance booty butt naked in the rain, right?
We dancing booty butt naked in the rain.
Right. So let's shed some clothes, right? So yeah, I think we have to just be more real and quit. Like, the people we love the most, we take the biggest advantage of. And because I don't think it's a matter, like my dad used to tell, we know right from wrong. Like, that's kind of ingrained in us. But do we have enough courage? Do we have enough testosterone to do the right thing, even though it's going to check us, like E said, or even though it's going to put us in our place, and we're going to have to punt, and we're going to have to do something different than what we typically do. Like, that's where the rubber meets the road, and that's when it becomes real, and that's when the iron sharpens the iron, is when we are willing to say, you know what, I got to lay down my selfless nature and or my self-full nature, and make sure that I give you exactly what it is that you want, that's going to help us grow as towards oneness, or going to grow towards developing you to become this child who I tell you all the time I want you to become, right? But yeah, what type of skin in the game am I putting forth? So that's
true.
It's deep.
Yeah,
It's deep.
I like this because if you go back and what you're saying, Devo, too, is for Tisha and my spouse and I was like, oh man, I never asked her that, but I'll tell Josh, I'll tell Josh straight up, I mean, I'll be like, I'll be like, no, what are you doing, bro? Yeah, just like what you're saying,
right,
Eric. I mean, I'll give him straight up hard advice and tell him what I think, and
because we scared.
Because we're gonna break the scroll out.
But listen, but even more scary, I think even more scary than that, and maybe it's me, maybe it's Pat, maybe it's whatever, but if they were to ask us the question, talk about being scary, like to ask the question.
That's an easy answer for me.
Come on back here and turn off these lights.
Hey, listen, I got one thing that you could do better at. And it ain't necessarily better, maybe just more. Like, it would good.
You say serve or service? What'd you say?
But I mean,
man,
but
Josh,
I
I
think
could go in so many directions with this.
I
hope you're not watching.
I know.
Gonna be locked when I get home.
Waiting for the
Like,
chat to light up.
I know he said grease, but he was talking about frying more chicken.
I can't get in the house. The locks were changed.
Hey, Devo, though, when you were saying what you were saying, I was sitting here. I was waiting to tap in to try to be funny, but now I'm not really trying to be funny. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, for you to take on that vulnerability and ask that question, do those things, man, you added 20 years to your life.
Yes, you did.
Absolutely added 20 years to your life, because I'm gonna tell you, I think I even said this when we first met. When I tell you I cracked the code, Aaron and I pick with each other all the time because we say, like, there's a hubby manual. Are you reading the hubby manual? And I'm like, well, what chapter was this? What chapter was that? Stuff I say to her, she's like, what chapter? You must have been reading the hubby manual.
Yeah.
When we were living in our old house and she was coming in stumping after 12, 13, 14-hour days, and then she'd see that the kids' clothes need to get put out and all that other stuff like that. And then I was like, it was ice cold, Devo, in the road. And I'm like, wait a minute, what, And she's like, I'm tired. Like, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. So you mean to tell me if I do this and do this and do that, oh, man, that carried me into this new house. Shit.
5
You
love
just became
languages. Where's
sexy,
it at?
Listen,
Man.
Matt knows
About
the
to
guy
go
that
check.
wrote the 5 love languages.
I don't
know
think
if y'all know that.
I don't think my wife has put out clothes for the kids in probably a year, at least, unless it's the weekend or something. Because I'd be like,
You better back away from that closet, girl.
That's my job.
Back away from that dress.
Between her mom and my own doing, man, I tell you, I ain't got that problem no more.
Yeah.
But it is that notion of how can I make your life better, essentially.
Yeah.
Because we talk about the kids being on a pitch count. Our spouses are too, and that's not just even though covenant says death do you part, but that's attitudes and all kinds of things that make you go sideways, where you're like, oh man, I should have did that better or whatever. So it could be even shorter time that you have, but in terms of marriage that you're forecasting to death do you part, that's not a long time, I feel sometimes a fried chicken away from tapping out myself. Sometimes I'm like, man, I gotta, last night, real talk, I was like, you know what? I don't know what these everyday headaches, man. What in the world? I just went and bought a bunch of fruit, mint, basil, chopped up. A gang of fruit, pomegranate, all kinds of stuff put together. And all I've eaten fruit all day, just as much as I can. Because I'm like, look, if I have to self-medicate in a patch of fruit, I ain't going nowhere. I love living. I'm not taking medicine anymore.
Right.
I'm just going, but it all boils down to lifestyle. Just, your wives make you live longer. They just have something about their presence. And I tell Erin all the time, the house don't function right without you. She's in Raleigh next 2 nights. And I'm like, the house ain't gonna function the same without you, because the boys, you got 3 little boys, and we need our mama bear here. I'll handle the things I gotta handle, but it's just the aura of the home just changes when she's not here.
But I think you said it. Go ahead, Matt.
Quick, man. So see that? That's pretty smooth right there, isn't it?
Look at him. Look at him.
Right there,
He's trying to get back in the house, bro. We know what you're
saying. Hold up.
He done got in trouble. He done got in trouble.
There's a point to this. I wish I could go back and talk to that guy.
Facts.
Right? I wish I could go talk to that guy about all the stuff we're talking about and all the stuff I know now. But I have the opportunity to talk to my son. Yeah. Because he just got engaged. He just did that. He just dropped to the knee a couple of months ago.
Yep.
And my point is, like, we have a responsibility as professional dads in this group of what we're doing of, can we bring our young men up and teach them all these things that, all the do's and don'ts, all the things we did right, all the things we did wrong. And I feel like I have that responsibility to teach Braden all this stuff, right? Because I can't go back and talk to that guy about all the mistakes that I made, and all the stupid stuff I did, and all the, you name it, I did it, right? We all did it, but I can't go back. I can only move forward from that, but I can set my son up for success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think you guys said it too, is that it's just asking that question is very selfless. It's like, okay, what can I do? That's basically for us being like, hey, I'm vulnerable, I'm defeated, I'm feeling a certain kind of way, whatever. But I remember one of the things that my dad was like the king of like acronyms and the one-liners when he was a pastor. One of the things my dad said, and I'm sure he got it from somewhere, I'm sure he didn't make it up, but love is giving of yourself for the other person's benefit. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Like, love is giving away. So I think that goes into if spouse or friend or child, like, hey, I'm loving you because it's about you. And if we're talking spouse at this point, but they're loving me because of me, then there's no selfishness there. And that's iron sharpening iron. And there's love there. I mean, that's ultimately that's ultimately that question is very, very selfless. And it's driven with love, but it has nothing to do with us. It has to do with the other person, which is huge.
Can I ask y'all this? Can I put something out there? And I told y'all this in the text this week.
Matt asked like he's not going to put it out there.
I'm gonna put it out there.
What's the question?
Yeah, Matt, I umpired baseball last weekend, and this bothered me. It really bothered me, man. Like, I sat there and was floored. And you, Eric, you've been coaching young kids, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. But listen, I umpired 11 baseball games, and I kid you not, there were 12 young 11-year-old young men. I'll call them young men, right? Because we want to raise them to be young men. There were kids crying all over the baseball field, crying all over the place. I'd never seen, even the other umpires that were with me, they're like, what is going on? Why do we have all these emotional kids on the field crying all over the place? They can't keep that. I mean, they making out, they start crying. One guy did he doesn't know what he did, but he hit the ball, over towards second base, and there's a run on third. He scored the run. Yeah, he got out at first, but he hits first base and he's balling. And it's like, the coach is like, what you just did? That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Right, you're supposed to do.
You're supposed to hit it to the right side to bring the run. Where in society are we going so wrong that we can't go out to a baseball field and not have kids crying all over the place? And I see Stacey said, too much pressure. There were some coaches that were coaching properly, and there were some coaches that were putting pressure on. The coaches that were coaching properly had their teams under control, had good positive attitudes, had their parents under control. And then there were some teams that were off the hook. Yeah. But I was taken back by that whole weekend about where are we going wrong with these kids.
So let me
gentle parenting.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead, Devo. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say gentle parenting, man. Like that's my vantage point. I think what I see today from society, from my perspective, and from my limited view, is I think a lot of parents try to protect their kids so they don't experience defeat, so they don't experience loss, so they don't experience hardship, so that they give them the opportunity to win or give the placebo as if they're winning in all situations. Like with Sandra Carson, there was none of that. You lost, you just took a L and got your ass whooped.
But if you cried, you got another one.
You got another ass whooping when you got to the car, or when you finished faking like you was asleep. Right? Get up, get your ass out that car. Get in the house. Oh, go get me that switch. And so like that's just today. Kids don't have the opportunity to experience that, and I kind of get why we don't. Of course, I am who I am, right? And I make no apologies for it. Could I have done some things a little bit different? Probably. But I am Charles Carson's son, as my wife would say. And so it is what it is. And you can't win at everything, but you can always put forth your best effort. And if you put forth your best effort, then I think that's good enough. And if you didn't get it today, then you figure out a way to get it tomorrow. Like, you might get me today on the football field or on the wrestling mat or on the baseball, wherever. Like, you may get me today, right? As long as it's not the spelling bee, you probably get me every day. But if it's something physical or something where I can go and I can study and I can prepare for it, then you're going to get the best that I have to offer. And then if you whoop me, then I'm going to shake your hand and be like, hey, you got me. But I'm still coming for you the next time. And so I think we missed that mark. Like, our kids are so freaking soft these days. And we just have to tell them, and we have to not tell them, we have to show them. Like, how do you recoup from that? How do you go back? How do you prepare better? Like, okay, what's some things you can do differently? My youngest, Lord knows I'm probably going to take a L for this one right here, but she's playing tennis, right? And
Don't say it. Don't.
Don't say it.
it's
Don't
middle
say
school
it.
tennis, right? And so the collective team has some growing to do, right? And so with the collective team, I'm assuming that the coach is taking the opportunity to practice with them and to toughen them up. My wife is also taking the opportunity to go out and practice with her. I went out there and practiced with her and said a couple things, and then I was asked to leave by my wife and by my daughter. But so, like, I just think we have to get a little bit tougher with our parents, and we have to let our kids. You say it all the time, Matt. Like, let them skin their knees. Like, it's okay. It'll heal.
Yeah.
It's gonna scab, and it's gonna be all right. Tell them.
Look at the stuff we went through. Like,
and
what?
don't eat
Like, we didn't have no choice.
Yeah.
So last year, I had the pleasure of coaching both boys' basketball teams. My 7-year-old or U7 lost every single game. The U11, they lost 2 games. They were 11-2. Lost in the playoffs. First game of the playoffs. And it was tough on Saturdays because the first part of the morning I felt like an absolute failure because those kids, they worked hard. They just didn't translate it into any kind of wins and whatnot. But did we have snack? Did I shake every parent's hand for bringing them to practice, bringing them to the games, called their young men by name, first names, young sirs, all the things to really to mold them into people first, the players second, do the best we can. What it boiled down to, and no shade to the kids or whatever, but that age group doesn't listen all the time. You have to be willing to listen and take coaching. It's not about the skill at that age, more so than it is about listening. I used to say something when I was in a teacher ed program. I thought it's what almost got me kicked out the program because we were talking about advancing to middle school and secondary ed and then going post-secondary and all this other stuff. And I said, hey, to me, it's real simple. It's about going all the way back to kindergarten and being able to stand in the line and color inside the lines. And they would never figure out what I was talking about. I thought I was trying to be disrespectful to ability. And I said, no, you have to know at 5 how to just stand still in a straight line when a teacher lines you up without putting your hands on someone until they get you from point A to point B. That is a behavioral skill that will follow you into some of the more tactical skills like writing, reading, math, and other things. But when you don't even handle those things correctly, or you're fidgeting to some of those things, it can show up in other areas, whether it's extracurricular, whether it's just behavioral, whatever. But some of those things, like even with some of the math that my 7-year-old was doing, I said, hey, son, I want you to try to take that pen as best as you can. And I want you to shade inside the lines, because your teacher's going to look at that. You see a bunch of scribbling, they're going to say, you don't care about your work. And somebody say, he's 7, let him just do his thing. I said, no, but it says shade in the area. So you've got to train your brain to do exactly what the thing is saying. And that takes time. And a lot of times kids don't want to take the time to develop the skill. And repetition, same thing that translates over into the field of play. It's the reason why you can see some kids can read a playbook and can be like outstanding athletes, but take an academic book and drop a break. And you're like, wait a minute, you can do mutually exclusive. You can do the same thing. I've seen it, and my whole career was in athletics. I know it. I've seen it. Yeah. And the same thing. The reason why I give myself grace and my assistant coach grace, because I was like, wait a minute, I'm the same person teaching the same game to another group of kids who are 11-year-olds, and they're busting their butts. They lose 2 games, literally lost 1 game by 1 point, lost another one by 3, and it was a buzzer beater. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? The difference is they were willing to listen. But some people say, well, they're 11, their skill is better. No, they just were willing to listen. Yeah. And get the instruction and then go apply it, do it for a few minutes. We come back and we talk about it. And I would say to them, I say, hey, there should be no difference tomorrow when we show up for the game. It's the same thing. You're just going to have people watching you. Don't get caught up with your parents watching you. You do the same thing on Saturday that you're doing tonight. I said, because if what I grade you tonight, I call you an A+. I just need the same thing, and let's block out the noise for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And it worked. Now, I don't make me a good coach, or at least I'm good loving you coach or whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's developing a habit. Listening is an essential habit that can translate into any kind of genre when dealing with kids. And I think that, that's something that maybe that was the fear that kept me out the classroom, but that's just something that I know in terms of working with younger people, is that when we get that pick up that habit of just being willing to listen and to be coached, teachers or coaches, and be willing to listen to your coach. You don't always have the right thing. They do. And you got to trust their judgment that they're going to try to give you the right thing, and then prove it, whether it's a game, or prove it if it's a quiz or test, or standing in the line, keep your hand off little Johnny, go to the bathroom without touching your, all those things. And I just, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I know that it can be done.
That's what gets you out the classroom.
Let me acknowledge this comment real quick, because this is true, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with crying. Man, I'm an emotional being. I know Josh is emotional.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think that very true.
We weren't allowed to cry.
Okay.
I mean, I can imagine losing, crying, but I'm fine with that boy upstairs crying when he's upset that they lost and he's hard on himself. I'm fine with that. The emotion, show that emotion. I don't want you to cry because you lost, or there's this whole that fine line between that emotion and being getting it. Don't cry because you lost. Cry because you get it, and you're upset and you're mad at yourself, or you're upset, or we're going to do better, whatever. I'm fine with that. But yeah, y'all know we wasn't allowed to. I know Devo got some stories. I got some stories too.
I do too.
Listen, I've been yanked off the pitcher's mound, shortstop, the basketball court many times by my father coach for doing something stupid.
Man,
I never cried.
I said a cuss word during the game. I got yanked out of the game, and the rest of the game went on while I ran laps the whole time.
Been there.
Yeah.
Been there.
But
sure.
It's one thing I think I would like to say on top of that. I can't even believe I'm about to do this. First of all, let me apologize in advance and give my disclaimer. I am sporting my Carolina shirt right there. But one of the greatest quotes I ever heard was from Coach K. And so to me, emotions are good. Show your emotions for whatever reason. But what's the next play? What's the next play? Let's always be moving forward. And to me, the whole process is about problem solving. Okay, if you got a result that you didn't like or didn't sit well with you, or so what are we gonna do differently? It's just like taking pictures. And somebody tells me all the time, well, I don't like that picture. Okay, what you want me to do different? Just don't tell me you don't like it. That doesn't mean no good.
And do not with your face.
Yeah.
That's
your face. You don't like that picture? It's your face. It ain't my skills.
I can't work miracles here.
I said cheese, not to eat, to smile.
Yeah, well, let me slow down because I'm still in the probationary period with this job. So
motherfucker called me fat.
No, Amy's right. We do focus on winning, and that's fine. I mean, I still think we should focus on winning. But it's about putting the best effort in, right? We want to put the best effort in. But I'll go back and tell you this: is I let my son win too much when he was little. Yeah, I thought that just let him win, and then I created and he even talks about it. I created a demon. Because when he did lose, when he was playing against other people, it was bad, if he lost, So, I mean, again, you can let your kid win some when they're 2 and 3, but you need to also take his junk and throw it across the room.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm going to push back on Amy just a little bit.
Dunk on him.
I'm going to push back on Amy just a smidget. I hope she don't get mad, or maybe she
be careful. She's our number one follower.
No.
We lose Amy. We lose our whole show.
No.
It's gone. Amy, we're sorry for what Eric's about to say.
Okay, never mind. I didn't think about that. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
No.
Do your thing.
I think the framework of winning and losing, the posture should always be winning. I think kids, adults, whatever, in that posture, because in the spirit realm, we're always encouraged. We're the head and only and not the tail. We're above only, not beneath. Those are daily affirmations that we're constantly telling ourselves. And I don't think you can turn off spirit and physical man. They're mutually exclusive. You need one just like you need the other. And in life, when we're teaching to advance in the kingdom, you're more than conquerors. That's the thing. But I think the part of that has to be equally taught is the humility part. And because as I tell my team or Evan's team, or my team, but Evan was on it. I was like, if I could teach y'all how to lose, you'll savor winning much more, because your attitudes and how you lose and how you can take the L. I could have helped them out and been like, guys, we're getting ready to play the Lakers or whatever. We won't win this game, so let's go. And we're not winning this game. We're just going to go out there, run around for about.
Let's just have fun.
So let's just have fun. I could have really diffused. I could have. But I didn't want to go out there. That was the playbook every Saturday. Like, why in the world am I getting?
That's why they didn't ask you to coach this year.
I think what we do is we set people up for failure. To your point, Eric. Because we don't let them know that there's winners and losers. If the four of us are here and we're all going to go after one job, one person's going to win and three of us are going to lose. And that's the reality of life. And that's one of the problems that we have in society today, is that we can't take those L's without feeling like we're getting, just beat down. And that's just the truth. If there's one job, one's getting it, three are not getting it. Move on to the next one, and don't worry about it. You got to go.
I'm telling you, that is so true, man. Because it got to the point where sometimes I would be like, man, Aaron was like, why do you keep putting yourself out there? It's like, I never do that. I just can't take that level of rejection. Well, it was necessary to realize then when I wanted to get into the entrepreneurial space, it was like, I don't need an owner. I can be my own boss. Forget them. I do what I want to do now. But I've learned that process and developed that thick skin and toughness to kind of get into that space. But I needed all of those L's in my career to get to that point, because
life ain't easy, right? Life ain't easy.
Not at all. Had a batch of wins, but Josh, you were saying something as was transitioning into the question that Matt had, and I was just, I had it pulled open, Matthew 22 and 35, 30, 36, when Jesus was really kind of coming down from the Sermon on the Mount, and the disciples were asking, like, teacher, what's the greatest commandment? It's kind of trying to figure it all out. And, as we know, he said, you must love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. And then followed by that equally is to love your neighbor as thyself. And I think that's the thing to me that's lost on the moment that we're in. And just to your point with the question that you asked, or how you were really talking about the love, or the need to love. I really believe that it is more important to go beyond just the words on the page and the application of what was actually being said, and not looking at it like, how does the Bible make me feel comfortable? But what does it say? Because if it's about comfort, we'll all get misinterpretations, because it's got to fit our flavor, and we can justify all kinds of bull, and we can get on Facebook and we can comment to all kinds of bull. But when you go into what did Jesus Christ say? And if I'm a follower of him, I'm commanded to love. It don't say, well, I'm going to love on weekdays, or I'm going to love on every day but Thursday. I'm commanded to love. I'm commanded to love when it hurts. When my soul aches, I still must love. Yeah. When it's not my side that wins, I'm still commanded to love. The fact that we're doing what we're doing, we're in that posture of love, despite what the world is saying or what is supposed to be status. If we are trying to do it the Jesus Christ way, we have to operate in love. And I think to follow that up, we also have to be able to forgive.
Yeah.
Whether we did something to someone or something happened to us, we got to be willing to forgive. It's a painful thing, and not necessarily talking about turn the other cheek, but it's like, consider what the gospel says. I can easily excuse based on my feelings if I live in the Old Testament, a very Levitican law, and I can get people condemned with my words or how I feel. But if you jump over into the New Testament, the singular focus is about grace. And when you think about the grace and the exchange of the cross, there's a lot of stuff that we did, they did, will be done, that he took and said, I'll take that on.
Yeah.
I should be the one who should be punished. You should be punished for the things you did or said. But he said, no, I'm going to take that on. And I'm going to take that on. And despite what's going on, what went on, we think the world is bad now. Just go back to the Old Testament. It was like lavish and crazy and all kinds of stuff. We live like Disney compared to some of the things and the stories in the Bible. But the bottom line is, there's a commandment that's very simple. We're supposed to love. I don't care how I feel. I don't need to tweet about it. I don't need to post about it. I don't need to, I just need just simple love.
Yep. True. Well, Devo, you were saying it too. Like, next thing is like what, the whole thing that Hudson and I watched, Ted Lasso. Not the best language, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. Not the best.
Father of the Year, baby.
Father of the Year, baby. We're watching Ted Lasso. But the one thing that I will say, because my dad was uber competitive. I'm uber competitive, and Hudson's uber competitive. One thing that Hudson got out of that, and I ask him every game, is, hey, what animal are you? Or what are you?
Yeah.
I'm a goldfish. Why are you a goldfish? Because they have a short-term memory. Same thing. I'm a goldfish. So whenever he's got something going on, school, work, I'm like, hey, what are you? And he's like, and I know inside he's like, I'm a goldfish. Like, I don't know what he's saying. But he gets out of all of that, him and I have that connection of like, hey, and he said it to me, hey, what are you? And I'm like, I'm a big freaking goldfish. But he understands what I mean. Awesome. And like, hey, you know what? I won, set it over here. I lost, set it over here, and on to the next play or on to the next game or on to the next test, whatever it may be. And that's exactly what you were saying, Debo. I mean, I think I want to be a goldfish. And that includes loving. Like you said, Eric said it. I got to love when I don't want to. I got to love when I lose. I got to love when I've been wronged. I got to forgive when I've been wronged. I got to forgive when I lose. Like, that's heavy stuff to carry, but we're instructed to do that. We're told to do that. Not instructed, told, have to, just how we're supposed to live.
I'm going to love you, but it may take 3 or 4 minutes.
But it may take. Yeah, right. I like you.
Yeah.
But I love you. I love you. I mean, I don't like you.
I love you, maybe.
No, I think your point is well taken to me, Eric, because I honestly, I say all the time, I mean, God put us here to love. And God put us here to respect each other and to lift each other up. I mean, that literally is how I live my life and what I really feel like I'm here to do. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what sexual orientation you are. None of that makes any difference to me. My thing is I'm here to love and treat you with respect and lift you up. And I think that that's what we need to do. I mean, what you guys don't see that are watching this, what you don't see is, we'll sit here and talk for a couple minutes, but how do we always leave each other?
Love
we
you.
always say,
love you, bro.
Love you. I mean, we always say that to each other. And okay, we don't care that we're 2 white guys, 2 black guys, 2 anything. We don't care about that. All we care.
Y'all ain't got no PhD to me.
Yeah.
Hey,
no,
not that I'm keeping
strip
score,
it off,
but you done brought up the pigmentation of one skin tones 3 times a night. I'm just saying.
But no, my point is, my point is that it's irrelevant, and I really mean that. Some people say that. Some people said to us, it's great that you guys are the makeup that you are. But I think that we, the 4 of us, have an opportunity And I said that to y'all this week in the text. I think we have an opportunity. I think we have an opportunity with things that are going on in our society and in life to go out, right, and to set a tone and to bring a lot of people in, men, dads, other people together and say, hey, everybody, follow us for. I really think that that's what we are chartered to do and why we're here together. You know, Devo, again, I'll give you all the credit in the world. This was
Yep.
your idea to do this show. And I think that's why we're here. And that's what we are chartered to do. And that's what we need to do. But we can't do that, to your point, Eric, we can't do that without love, for our fellow man. And that's really what it is. So
It is morphed into, like, I don't know that you guys even thought it. I know I didn't, like, thought that this is be where we would be at, taking it to, the professional dads and what we're looking to do. Like, starting out, it's just kind of done this nice little dance all the way back and forth, and it's just morphed, and it's just I think it's ready to just bust the doors wide open with the feedback we've got, what's happening, what we can do, the reach that we all have in our communities, our families, with each other, what we've grown. Like, it's just busting at the seams, I think. But to your point, yeah, I mean, we got to love ourselves first. We got to love each other after that. And then we have to love outside of that in every single thing that we do.
So to your point, we got 9 minutes left. So
9
I want to
minutes.
jump here is, let's talk about this, right? What, each of us can talk about this. So what do we want out of this? What do you want out of it, Devo? What do you want out of it, Eric? Josh, where do we want this professional dads to go? And it's not just where we want, because we've all talked about this a lot, but why don't we tell them, where are we going? What are we doing? And who wants to go first? And I'm gonna throw this QR code up, because check this out. This is pretty cool that I can do this, right? But this is one thing that we got, and I'll move it here in just a second. But if you're, I thought it'd make y'all smaller, so we covered y'all up. But let's take that away, and then
Devo, we're fine down here.
So let me try to answer this quickly. So I listen to K-Love Radio. I think it's the greatest radio station in America. And they just, in all the different types of fundraisers that they're having to keep the radio show on, they just mentioned today that they're having a prayer team available for 24 hours of prayer. Let's just say, like, sometimes people are going through some things in the wee hours of the morning that the radio station is closed. They got to wait till 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and kind of see what's in the inbox and do what they got to do. But to be available 24 hours when people need to be accessible and pray and things of that nature, I think that's gangster what K-Love is about to do. It's going to explode, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. For us, I think it would be pretty cool to be able to have it established where if there was some type of inbox or whatnot, just a question that can be answered, whether it's live on air or there's something that we may be able to take and post, hey, Ricky in Seattle, thanks for following the Professional Dads. You had a question that we all have faced or something that we're thinking about. Hey, thinking about you. Good luck as you win the week. Professional Dads. Something that we can start responding to people.
Well, and we can, because you see, I got the QR code up there in the thing, in the community that we're creating. I mean, it's good timely, but the discussion board, right, inside of that should be used for prayer requests. Should be used, and there we go. Right, that's why we created it. But it should be used for those prayer requests, right? That allows us to all, for example, if you're talking about that, it's 24 hours. You can go in there anytime. Somebody might not respond right away, but we'll respond.
Now, I ain't talking about prayer requests. That's K-Love. Not ain't.
But yeah, don't put no prayer
requests on there.
Yeah, but keep in mind though, it's not just about us four in this community. Yep. It's about us as a collective. True. Right? And Josh has seen the way Convene works and all that, but it's a collective. Somebody has something they need to put it out. They can put it out as themselves, or they can put it out anonymously. And sometimes you don't want to share your dirt, right? You might need to go in there and put a prayer request in the discussion board, and then we can rally around that person. But the point is we can grow this together. And I think that's ultimately been what our idea has been all along, is to start growing something. And I think we're ready to go. We're ready to go at this point.
Yeah. I'll say to piggyback that, I think us being in the same room was probably the coolest experience. Like the couch, the chairs, and we're at coffee shop, barber shop, sitting in the living room. Like, it doesn't matter, like, where we were, that was probably a cool experience. So I think for me, where I would love to see it to go is us to, whether it's youth conferences or whether it's, youth camp or men's group or churches, like, the traveling foursome. I mean, we could be like the Four Horsemen or whatever from, WWE days. But I think, back, but I mean, just
WCW.
be able to just go and just share. Because I think it's about, and you guys know my online social media world it's access. And Matt and I talked about that. That's why Matt and I connected. Matt's like, look at the access that you could give with Convene. I think people, as we continue to grow, it's going to be access. So how cool would it be to go and spend 4 hours or 6 hours at the men's conference and just sit up on a panel, share our stories, share like we're doing here, and then take Q&A and break bread with each other and with the people there. Like, that's what I see Big Vision pushed out to be able to, like, hey guys, like, we're going to wherever this weekend and we got, that's where I see that impact happening personally. Obviously online is a different model. But we can do that. I think we can impact that. That's what I see.
Yeah. I piggyback on that too. Like, I have a lot of those same dreams, ideologies. I want us to see us grow. I like to tab myself as the average Walmart shopper. I know some of you brothers shop at Target, but I like to deal with the peoples down in Walmart. So, they got their own webpage too, people at Walmart. So
They do.
I just want us to grow. I want us to extend that olive branch.
Yep.
As a good friend of mine, Josh, would say, with the muckety muck, you know what I'm saying? Like, get our hands dirty. Like, try and peel back the layers of that onion for those difficult situations. I'm gonna tell you right now, like, we don't have all the answers. Damn sure ain't perfect, right? But each day I pray to get a little bit better. Like, that's my goal in life, is each day that the good Lord extends me to continue to have oxygen pumping out of my lungs. I just want to get a little bit better. 1% rule. And so I just want to be that for somebody. Like, this is the most difficult job I think any man could ever have, is to be charged with leading his family, because you have to make a lot of decisions. Sometimes it's instant. Sometimes you have 2 or 3 weeks to sleep on it. But you make the wrong decision, it has effects. You make the right decision, it has effects. Where it goes is still to be seen, is unfolding, is developing, is being nurtured. But I like Eric, I want us to have a platform where people can, like, just have access, where they can fire off a question, and we'll give you probably 8 different opinions from 4 different people. You know what I'm saying? And you figure out where you fit in. And or someone come on live or with us and pose a question, and we just try to take stab at it from our perspective. Here's what I would think in the moment, and give yourself permission to change, give yourself permission to grow, give yourself permission to cry, as somebody say.
Yeah.
But damn it, get yourself up and move on to the next play. All right. Because that's what God has called us to do, is to be leaders. Like, we gotta be leaders, man. Leadership's lonely. I'm gonna tell you, like, some of the loneliest days I've had in my life has been sitting in the chair in my living room and sitting in the chair in my office, because at the end of the day, all these eyes looking at you, waiting for you to make a decision. And you're gonna have to bear all that decision, right, wrong, or indifferent. And so the more you can come square up and get back to back, get side to side, shoulder to shoulder with the next man or one man, to bounce ideas off of, I think the stronger you and your family would be in the long run. Like, it's about the collective whole. Like, if you were solopreneur, Yeah, was better,
strategic.
Yeah.
Strategic.
If you solo dolo ain't the answer. You know, find you somebody where you can be a confidant to, or someone who you know you value, you trust their word, and just put yourself out there. Like, life is too precious. Life is too short to go at this thing alone. So that's where I would like to see. I would like to kind of get this out there on the road and get out there in them streets and see what them
100%.
streets talking about, and see how we can be effective, efficient, and share what the good Lord has given us the ability to learn from for all these years.
Yeah.
So we've been here an hour, so we're going over the hour mark. I got some good news here that I'll throw out here in a second, but I just want to make sure I mention this. It's every Tuesday night at 9:00 now. So that's where we're going to be every Tuesday night. Please join our community. And the good news that I have is you didn't make Amy too mad. She says she's going to be here and keep throwing crystal balls all day long.
Amen.
All right.
We got a fan. That's
Eric,
what I'm
you
saying.
should thank all of us, Eric, for softening that blow, bro.
Appreciate you, Amy.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. Kudos.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question real quick.
Yeah.
Should I be guilty? Should I feel guilty because that I'm excited that I finally beat my dad in golf? He's 75 years old. Am I taking advantage of his age?
No, it's just like, all right, so we got to go back to this. You cannot let your kid win, and then you can't just stay under the rock of your
Get him
dad.
while he's down. Man, I'm telling you, I've tried my whole life to beat this man. I finally got him. And I don't care that he's playing on half a hip.
Hopefully you talk trash. It would only be better if you talk trash.
I can't talk trash, and I gotta talk to him in love. But it's like, Dad, my short game is better than your short game. And
now let me ask you this: did you beat him, or did Big Harold give it to you? What's up?
Well,
that's true.
He still tries to give it to me, but
I passed the torch and I let my son get a win.
Yeah, he ain't passed no torch. But I will tell you.
I'd cherish you for sure.
Because if he go back to the recording this, he might put it on that ass next time.
I can't wait. Because I've been waiting to beat him for.
Hey, but I'll say this: the first time I beat my dad my dad played basketball, baseball. We both did it. The first time I beat my dad at 1-on-1 was probably one of the greatest feelings ever. But just like you, even back then, I didn't say nothing. I went to bed and I was like all night long. I probably didn't sleep, and I never talked about it until this day. Like, he don't know that it even excited me, but I'm like, and now mind you, he ended up my dad's like 6-8 inches shorter than I am. So it got to a certain point where I was taller. It was going to happen.
Hey, Jamie might be onto a point, because there was one green where if you just read the green, you got to break the ball above the hole. He punched straight at it and it fell off. I was like, now I know this dude knows how to read the greens. He got cataracts.
He saw you were ready to win, so he gets let's go ahead and pass the torch.
Like, misreading greens at 75. What are we doing now? Come on.
All these took 50 years to let you get a win in.
Man. Okay, well, I guess I'm gloating for no reason. Then he let me win.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
all right. Love you guys. Really appreciate it.
Love y'all too.
Hey, have a good week, baby.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next week, next Tuesday. Thanks for everybody for watching. Go join that community. Get that QR code real quick.
Peace.
All right.
Peace.
See y'all later.
Up here.
Oh, right there.
Right
there.